I know not all of you guys have been collecting for as long, but this 2-pack right here brings me straight back to 2008 when Edwin Kranks was first released. It was just so crazy to get such an obscure, random background character, or what we believed to be obscure at the time, because yeah, it got way more obscure as time went on, and Mattel went deeper and deeper into the background to release some of these characters, and Edwin, in retrospect, really wasn't all that quote-unquote background. And same thing with Greta when she came out in 2009, just a year later. So this pack, just so nostalgic for me. Great seeing them together. And yeah, guys, let's get into it, reviewing their Thailand variants. Now, this is their 2024 2-pack release. However, it is not the first time that they have been released from Thailand. Both were released in the Blue Desert line back in 2019-2020. And here they are united in a 2-pack. And yeah, this pack has been relatively easy to find, at least for me here in the US. I think in Canada as well, where 2-packs are sold. Obviously, where 2-packs are not sold, like Australia, gonna be a bit more difficult. But by the way, we're doing daily videos for the rest of 2024, for the rest of the year. The next 6 days, I believe it is here, you'll get a video out of me. It's basically the continuation of the 12 days of Christmas, 6 bonus days, because why the heck not? Let's dive into it with this double pack here. Again, just great seeing these two together. Their artworks complement each other with the green there. And then you got the flame job on Greta with a dark purple. They just look incredible on top of the Red Riders packaging as well. On the back, you can get a glimpse of a couple other Cars 1 2-packs like Red and Stanley, and then Lightning McQueen and Sally. That is the first time, by the way, that just a basic regular Cars 1 Lightning McQueen was released in a 2-pack with Sally, so it's a little bit more monumental than you may think. But that's all I have to say for the packaging of this guy. I actually unboxed the case that this 2-pack came out of back in December of 2023, so I'll leave the link for that in the description below, and card suggestion pop up in the top right hand corner. That aside, let's open this guy and gal up. Now, unless I'm absolutely losing my mind, these are the only 2 flashback scene cars we got in 2024, but we do know one more is coming in 2025, and that is Nikki B right here, the actually newest member to the Flashback clan, because he was just released in 2020 for the first time. And there are images of Greta and Edwin from the movie. Not a great movie moment, but both do appear on the screen at the same time. Edwin's actually talking to a different car, but yeah, Greta is pulling out of Ramone's, and Edwin's kind of talking behind Ramone's on the sidewalk there. So yeah, really nice. And I don't know, I feel like one day it would be kind of cool to get creative and do like a 2-pack of then and now type of situation where you get Marilyn and Greta, because obviously they are directly correlated. Now, do you guys know who Edwin was directly correlated to in the future? This guy, who we now call Grant Greenlight. And Grant here was actually reviewed several years ago now, maybe 3 to 4, in the 12 Days of Christmas himself. An amazing custom, but if you look back on that scene in the end credits where it's all futurized, well, present day rather, this is the guy who is sitting in Edwin's spot. Now, they have kind of done something like they've done a modern version of this 2-pack with Marilyn and Nick stickers. So not perfect, because obviously Nick stickers is not Grant Greenlight, not the same kind of correlation there, but it is now kind of full circle that, you know, Marilyn got a 2-pack with Nick, and then Edwin and Greta did here as well. I like that. Let's start with Edwin. I like Edwin more than Greta. I'm just going to be honest. I just think, you know, maybe it's because he was the first one, maybe because I just love his paint scheme, and the pattern here is just so unique. But either way, My version of Edwin here is the original Chinese version where he had the mouth plate. You could see the crack right there between the main metal body and the plastic mouth bumper plate there. They eventually did upgrade him though to a unibody, I believe, in 2013 when he was released as a single. So there are two Chinese versions of him, but as you can see by the date stamp here, this guy was produced on the 270th day of 2008. And I'm actually pretty sure I didn't get this guy until his 2009 release. But just goes to show how much simpler the bases looked, because it just said Disney Pixar China. Didn't even mention Mattel, which is unheard of nowadays, where you have made in China, you have the product code, you got Mattel, their address in the Netherlands, and then the date stamp for Thailand S34A, meaning he was produced during the 34th, my bad, week of 2023, because remember this was a very early version, or an early release rather, in the 2024 mainline, so that was a 2023 production right there. Plus S was indicative of 2023 T 2024, and yeah, I mean it should be V, right? U maybe? I don't know my ABCs, sorry guys. But yes, the Thailand version stuck with the unibody that they eventually translated him to, or transformed him into, for one of his last releases in China, that is. And you could see some other differences with the expression, a little bit grainier there, but they added a little bit of an eyeliner to it. And those are plastic inserts, actually. Each side is a plastic insert instead of the eyes being a part of the main metal body. So you sacrificed the mouth plate for eye plates now, which I don't know. I don't really care all that much. And also the bumper is now a plastic piece, or is still a plastic piece, but not the mouth. Like, so they completely retooled Edwin here to the point where you still kind of have a plastic piece up here, but the mouth is a part of the main metal body. But hey, now the eyes aren't. So a lot of different changes there. The white walls, yeah, they look all right. You have like a little black inner circle there between the green and the white. Looks interesting. Not as bright of a green. It still passes though. And then as for the pattern here on the hood, both look really nice. I don't really think Thailand made it blurry. Thailand actually might have made it a little bit crisper, I'd say. A little bit thinner. And I think that looks good. I think it looks nice. A little bit more focused. Unfortunately, the side view mirrors are not painted silver anymore. That's actually a major blunder in terms of the Thailand version. But the door handles are still painted silver, and the line going across his side here is still silver. The windows still have their silver trim. Thailand version on the left, by the way. I think the back window looks better. Just looks not as, like that big gap, the little crack in between the main body there and the plastic insert doesn't look great. And it's a little bit more seamless here on the Thailand version. You do have the trunk hatch there, and 2769 for the license plates. Let's zoom in and see what else it says, if we can make anything out. Can't make jack squat out of what it says above. 2769 on the the Thailand version. The Chinese version, it looks like it says something wood, maybe. Idlewood? I don't know what that says, but it's a little bit more readable than the Thailand version, which, yeah, we all know they struggle with decals and small license plates. This bumper here is also plastic, and while it was before, it was at least chrome, a little bit of a shinier, and they struggle with this. Like Thailand, definitely, like if something was a shinier chrome before, it gets this like dull gray treatment now. Not as fun in my opinion, not as cool looking, just looks a little bit more plasticky as well. I'd say it looks cheaper. So that is your China versus Thailand Edwin Kranks comparison. I think the Chinese version is better, especially if you get the 2013 version where it's a unibody. So then this bumper actually is metal as well. So a lot of benefits to that. And the Thailand version, there's just not enough better about it. Like maybe the pattern the decals are. Excuse me, guys. That doesn't make up for all of the other deficiencies. Sorry, Edwin. Let's move on to Miss Greta now. Thailand version on the left, Chinese version on the right. And you can see that same kind of issue here with the bumper there and the mouth going to a duller gray versus the silvery chrome that it used to be. albeit both are plastic, but a definite change in color. Let's see how they did the flames here. I think they look good. You can see a little blur around the edges of the flames. I would say a little fuzzy, a little soft. But overall, looking good. Both have kind of sparkly purple paint underneath, which looks nice. The expressions are very comparable. I think the eyes might be a smidgen smaller on the Thailand version. You do get these plastic side view mirrors here, but again, the silvery plastic, now a dull gray plastic. Oh my goodness here, look at my Chinese version of Greta. Look at how backwards that wheel is, how much farther back it is. I had never noticed that. Oh, I fixed it. Huh, never mind. Interesting, though, that I was able to have it. Huh. See how I can move it back like that? That's weird. Oh, look, again, you can see the hubcap there is now a dull gray instead of the silver. Now, speaking of, like, deficient Gretas, Greta was a car in my collection for years. Had a massive chip on one of the headlights here, which, unfortunately, these older, like, flashback cars tend to get chips on the headlights a lot just because of how pointy they are. Like, I think, actually, yeah, this one still has a chip on it. It's just such a weak point. That tip is just such a vulnerable point. Not just on Greta, but other cars that share those qualities, like either with the fins or the pointy headlights. And yeah, mine had a ginormous chip for the longest time, and I finally replaced it when she came out in the Radiator Springs Classic line, like 5 years after that Racer Ramone release. And again, you can see that the bumper, plastic both times, but silver versus the dull gray. Yeah, one thing with Greta that's just weird, it's like they gave up once they got to the back here. It's like, oh yeah, taillights, who needs those? License plate, who needs that? Scratch it all, just make it blank. I don't know why they did that. I think Edwin looks far better even with the silver taillights there, but obviously has a license plate, which is a huge plus. So disappointed in that for sure. I'm going to make a guess as to what the date stamp is on the Chinese version. I think that's a fun game I sometimes do. But let's take a look at the date stamp and the base. On the Thailand version here, as we would expect, it matches Edwin's being S34A because they're in a 2-pack. Now, does that always happen? No, I've opened 2-packs before where one car is a week or even 2 off of the other car it's with. And I don't know how that happens. Like, that's a major holding period for the older car. It's like, all right, we're going to produce all these. 2 weeks later, we're going to produce the other car, and then we're going to package them. Like, wow, that's a humongous process, but obviously it works for them. All right, my guess. Oh, no, our snow's drying. It is almost out of the 12 days of Christmas. I mean, this is bonus episode, but we're getting to 2025, and this will all be gone, unfortunately, but you're getting bonus. Oh, our campfire is not even on. I'm stalling as I'm thinking of my guess here. Like I said, I think this is the Radiator Springs Classic version from like 2013. So I'm going to say the date stamp is going to be 0642. So it was made in 2012. But on the 043. So the 64th day of 2013 EAA or EA. Let's see. Oh, God, I was way off. Oh, gosh, that is bad. That's embarrassing. This is 3486 EAA. So that means she was produced on the 348th day of 2016. Huh. Greta came out in 2017? I guess, maybe? I don't know. That's strange to me. I wonder how I got this one then. I'll have to look back into it. Now I'm very perplexed. I thought this would have been way older. And now I'm just really confused. But before, yeah, it's like, what the hell, Mr. Doc? And you were even close. One of those times. One of the next times, I promise I'll be closer. Before we close out, I do want to compare Greta and Edwin to some similar counterparts here. We're just going to use the Thailand version here because here we have a Thailand Nikki B. Nikki B being, I think, the only flashback character to have not been released from China, which coincides with the fact that he's the newest one coming out just in 2020, now in 2024. different model than Greta. No one actually shares Greta's own model, which is kind of cool. It makes her more unique, whereas Edwin does have a little bit of a pal that I'll show you. And obviously some of these guys are similar to Greta, but no one directly shares her model, which, hey, opens her up for a good, custom candidate. You could use her to emulate some of those other Flashback characters, because there are so many that appear in the movie. But what Disney and Pixar did a great job of is actually differentiating many of the models, so they're not super easy custom. Some of them are models that Mattel never did. For Edwin here, though, Milton Caliper is the exact same model. He does have the mustache there, though, and the grill. However, because he's got the unibody, though, that's just a plastic piece, or not a unibody, he's the opposite of a unibody. He's segmented, he's got the mouth plate, which are easily interchangeable. As you can see here, they just interchange those two pieces, but the rest of the model is the same. Although, I guess you can argue, no, yeah, that silver hood ornament is just a decal that is not indented or anything. It does look like these are eye plates, though. That's not a part of the main metal body, so this might be a different mold. He does have the same license plate as Edwin, though, which happened a lot back in the day when you had characters with the same model that shared the same mold. The one thing I will say, though, is that his taillights are painted red instead of just left silver. So yeah, there's some interesting details there. Percy handbrakes is similar, but definitely different from both Milton and Edwin. Percy is just so awesome. Percy, despite being a different model, he also has the same license plate number, being 2769. That sucks. That's not great. Let's see if Mildred Bylane over here, who again, kind of similar, but narrower and taller. Oh yes, of course, because why not? Mildred also has the same license plate number, 2769. Mattel, what were you doing back then? That is just so embarrassing. But that's all I have for you guys today. Really appreciate you watching the day after Christmas, or if you're watching this in the future, that works too. These videos are meant to be timeless. They really never grow old or anything like that. But yeah, daily videos for the rest of 2024. Enjoy it. We'll be here with you, celebrating the new year and all that. So I will see you guys tomorrow for another video. Bye now. We're not doing any shout outs anymore. Got to keep that special for the main 12 days. Bye now.